Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a tier 8 tank that has been moved to tier 9. So this tank is currently tier 9, and I have to admit it was probably one of the worst tanks to actually move to tier 9. It was a tank that honestly sucked. I don't think it was the worst. I mean, if they moved, say, the STG to tier 9, then that is probably one of the worst tanks in tier 8, but the T2020 is up there. It was up there at being one of the worst tier 8s in the game. And I haven't actually played this tank since it was tier 9. So we're going to review it, we're going to look at the stats, we're going to get into a game, and then we're going to get into what I actually think about this tank being in tier 9. So let's look at the, hang on a minute. Where are we? So not rank. Let's have a look at the stats, and then we will get into a game. So of course it is a tier 9 tank, as you all know now. The armor profile is 200 millimeters, which is not too bad. You can actually get some bounces, but your hull is just 180. Now if you want, I never even knew how long. If you look on the better left corner, I know Wargaming are sort of not sponsoring but working with Blitzkit, and yeah, if you click that link, it will actually take you to, I mean, let's just have a look. Let's click it. So it takes you to the website. It actually takes you to the website, and I think everyone needs to use this this website. There's a couple of websites, BlitzStars, you know, and Blitzkit, and it's really good because it allows you. So if you go over to the tiers that you want, so I want tier 9, I want a heavy tank, and then I want a Russian, I believe. So you click on the T2020, and then it will bring you up the armor profile. Now I would love for Blitz to have this in game, so you can actually look at the armor profile. You can have a look at what tank is shooting at it. You can actually choose what tank you want to shoot at it. So normally if you go to Blitzkit, it just sets the same tank. So you're looking at the tank from another T20. And you can see, you can move the tank around, and you can see how red the tank is. And if you click in on any part of the red, or anywhere on the actual tank itself, it will actually show you what the primary armor is. So the normal armor is around 180, but when of course you are angling, it does become a little bit better. As you can see there, you angle a little bit and it's 337. So you know, armor wise it looks okay. It doesn't look too bad, but let's get back into the game and look at the stats of this tank. So here we are. So the damage per minute, 2,192. So yeah, very poor DPM. Very poor DPM. That is 11.7 second reload. Your penetration is 268 on your AP, 373 on your heat, and 73 on your HE. You've got a 430 alpha gun, which is actually quite nice, to be fair. 370 on your heat and 540 on your HE. Your aim time 4.7 is quite poor, the same as your gun dispersion 0.362, and you do only have 6 degrees of gun depression with a top speed of 40 kilometers per hour. So the biggest point here, I mean, 2,100 DPM. I mean, if we head over to not a collector, just a heavy but not a collector, where are we? There we go. So let's just go over to, say, the IS-8 with nothing on the IS-8, just literally the IS-8 on its own, and your DPM is way better. I mean, 2,456. That is without running all of these all of the provisions and etc. So yeah, much better, much better than the T2020. But let's just get into a game and we will talk about the tank. Don't look at my stats, guys. It's a new press account, and yeah, do not look at my stats, please. So we are on Normandy, and of course, because it is my first game in this tank, we are up against tier 8s. So now there's going to be some shots in the next few videos that I do. I am playing this account, and of course, because it's a brand new account, I had to go through all the tutorial again. I had to reset all my controls. So there's sometimes that I accidentally click my shoot button. There's sometimes I accidentally miss it, because you know what it's like when, if you haven't got your controls to how you like playing it, it's like you're a new player again. Honestly, it is so difficult learning the controls. If you haven't got the controls exactly how you want it, it is very difficult to play, especially when you've been playing for over 10 years and you've got your controls set in a certain way. When you then create a new account or anything like that, and you've got to reset, you've got to set them again, you never get it just right your first time round. So I'm trying to adjust it. I'm having a few battles. I'm adjusting it as we go. So eventually I might have the controls to exactly how I want them. So this is pretty much the only game I have had in the tank, and to be fair, like, it'd be unfair for me to say this tank sucks because I had a decent game, but what I can say is I'm up against 4 tier 8 tanks. I'm a tier 9 tank. I'm up against 4 tier 8 tanks. Now, when I come up against tier 10s in this thing, especially if you're one of the only tier 9s and you're coming up against 5 or 6 tier 10s, then I would definitely know that this tank still sucks. It does still suck. I mean, you can't go by this game, as I've said, because I am a tier 9. I'm up against 4 tier 8s, and it's quite an easy game to be. It was quite an easy battle. But yeah, definitely, if I come up against those tier 10 tanks, then it's definitely going to be a much more difficult tank to play. So I can guarantee that. It's not the greatest of tanks in the world. It's never been the greatest of tanks in the world, and it still isn't. And that's my honest opinion. They could have picked loads of tier 8 tanks to move. Like, they moved a couple, but they could have picked, honestly, they could have picked loads of tier 8 tanks. That tank we just killed there, the T-34, they could have even moved that to tier 9, and it gave it a little bit more hull armor, you know, like they did this kind of thing, and it would be better. So they literally, honestly, they just chose one of the worst tier 8 tanks to move to tier 9. Whether, I don't know why they done it. Maybe you guys know exactly why they done it. Maybe because it was a never a popular tank and they wanted to make it popular, so they moved it to tier 9 to make people buy the tank. I really don't know the reason behind it. There has to be a reason, because they're not just going to randomly put it on a wheel, spin it, and it lands on this tank. And hey, the T2020, you're a tier 9. There has to be some logic behind it. Honestly, I don't know why. I think the idea was absolutely stupid. Has it made it? I mean, if it makes it a better tank, then I could understand. But it honestly doesn't. It still feels the same. And yes, I do the damage, but again, I am top tier coming up against 4 tier 8 tanks. So don't look at the damage and think, what you want about me? You done over 4k damage. It's not like that, honestly. So yeah, the T2020, one of the worst tier 8 tanks in the game, now a tier 9, and it still sucks. It will still suck. That's literally all I've got to say. But let me know what you think of the T2020. What did you think of it when it was a tier 8, and what do you think of it now it is a tier 9 tank? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to sacrifice myself here to get my 4k damage, but it's going to be a win regardless. It's going to be a win. And yeah, let me know in the comments below, guys. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video. I am meadsy69, and I will catch you all soon. Bye bye.